chronicle the root causes that led to Auschwitz, I hope and pray that you will understand and accept the verdict of our history.
Marty, hold on a second.
The history of the Holocaust invites us to reflect upon the moral question. The history of the Holocaust invites us to reflect upon the moral question, how and why it happened, and how our history should guide us on our path to a more just and humane world, a world steeped in the Judeo-Christian doctrine of brotherhood and love. Jews and Christians have a common ancestry, steeped in tradition and moral values. Abraham is a Catholic father in faith, as well as the first Jewish patriarch. Catholic liturgy comes from Jewish traditions. Still, we have engaged in religious wars for 18 centuries. From John Chrysostom in the 4th century to Martin Luther, too many bellicose religious leaders preyed on Jews. Instead of embracing us as spiritual brothers, we were dragged through the mud as a fossilized faith and culture who died, or should have died, long ago. These teachings had consequences. Jews became irresistible targets and a lightning rod of anger and violence. The Holocaust was a consummation of centuries of warped ideologies, anti-Jewish slander, conspiracy theories, stereotyping, and a spate of defamations that turned Europe into a bloodthirsty graveyard. There was a moral rot and an ethical meltdown that repudiated all religious and moral values, including the most sacred canon of human dignity. 72 years later, Europe has still not reformed itself. The past is not dead. It's not even the past. Several years ago, the Pew Research conducted a survey in Europe on its ideologies and theologies. They wanted to compare the present to the past. It listed 10 of the most anti-Semitic countries in Europe. Poland, Hungary, and Spain topped the list. In Poland, 63% had negative views of Jews. The same 64% in Hungary. In Spain, for some unknown reason, 70%. There are not even 2,000 Jews living in Spain. And this puzzles historians and all of us why. My narrative has a universal message to all nations, all faiths, all cultures and creeds, not only for our time, but for all time, in all ages, to safeguard our cherished ideals so our nation would never become hostage of tyranny and oppression that robbed me of my childhood and family. It's a story whose truths must be told in full as a lesson to future generations. Freedom from fear is mankind's most cherished aspiration. The recent outbursts of cowardly anti-Semitic acts across our nation is a chilling reminder of my childhood that gripped our lives. It's a collective responsibility of our leaders and government to speak out in unison, to condemn and restore a sense of shame to bigotry. We learned from the last century that silence, when we should speak out, animates and energizes our enemies to act out their heinous crimes. The DVD you're about to see will bring you face to face with a shameful period in history when man failed in his responsibility to his fellow man, and perhaps most importantly, failed himself. It's a cautionary tale and a sad epitaph to European humanity.